All right, we're going to get started. Sound good? Turn the music down. Okay, let's do it. Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us today for Lunch with Lucy. My name is Kate Remillard, and I'm on the marketing team with VHT Studios. I'm happy to be here with you today as your MC. Before we get started, I just need to let you know that everybody is muted except for our panelists. If you do have questions, please put them in the Q&A, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. You'll also want to hang around until the end of the session. We'll announce the 5 winners of free lunch on us, and you must be present to win. So with that, I'm happy to introduce the woman herself, Lucy Edwards.
Thank you so much, Kate. Hello, everybody. So happy to be here, and thank you for joining us. And today, our guest is our own Chief Operations Officer, Vince Collura. And Vince and I, we go back not that many years because he is much younger than I am. So, but it's long enough, and we built our great relationship. We were competitors at some point, but we were always good friends and always had a good time together. So it was a great pleasure for us to join VHT, and Vince was one of the reasons that we did. So thank you so much, Vince. And Vince, I asked you to join us at Lunch with Lucy today because I saw some of the content that you were sharing with our photographers, and it was the topic on. It was actually an amazing and great topic that agent will also enjoy. What are the 3 Ps all about? It's a very intriguing one. So please share with us.
Sure. So, hey, Lucy. Yeah, I started talking about the 3 Ps of success as part of some of the personal branding and productivity content I was doing for our photographers. And, the 3 Ps were something I noted when I was looking at a lot of the sort of successful people that inspire me or I deal with, during our sort of business engagements, right? And the 3 Ps are productivity, positivity, and personality. And it's really interesting because the more I look at this and the more I look at the folks I get to deal with through a certain lens, trying to understand what it is that separates them from other people who are very good at what they do, but just not hitting that massive level of success. That's that right there. It's the 3 Ps, right? They're amazingly productive, right? Enormously. They get a massive amount of, sort of work done. They're insanely positive, and they all have distinct personalities. They're all memorable, right? And, you sort of look at that. And if you think about what we all learn, like when you go to business school, right? We're not taught that. That's not in the MBA course, right? But think about it. Think about the people you're looking at today, right? Like I would say, Lucy, you might not have ever thought about the 3 Ps, but I will say when we were competitors, I could barely keep up with you, right? You were always in like 5 places at once. You're insanely positive, sometimes to the point where it's a lot, right? I'm like, how is she in this good of a mood? And you've got a personality that's very, very specific. Nobody's ever going to mistake you for somebody else. We think about.
I will take it as a compliment. Thank you, Vince.
Yeah, you should. You should take it as a compliment, right? Think about Dottie. Think about Frederick or Ryan, right? These guys you see on TV. They're not just there because of their personality, and they didn't develop a personality because they were successful. I know all those guys since before they were doing dozens of listings a month, right? They're pretty much the same people. Maybe their egos have gotten a little bigger, right? Think about Gary Vee, right? Tony Robbins, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos. They all have really explicit personalities, really distinct personalities. They're all, again, insanely positive. And obviously they get a lot of work done because we know them.
Well, that is fantastic. And thank you for all your compliments. I will take them all.
As you should.
Productivity is very generic though, right? I mean, all of us will work very hard. We try to work as smart as possible, but we still work very, very hard. And we get our things done. So how do personality and positivity really get into the productivity?
Sure. So I'll start with positivity, right? A lot of us are in sales. So we've learned this from day one, right? Smile while you're on the phone. There is a certain level of positivity which makes everything that you do easier, right? And again, look at the people who I was just kind of rattling off in the previous question. None of those people don't look like they're having a good time doing what they're doing, right? They are very much having a good time. They've figured out, a role, they figured out a job function that aligns with the things that they do and the personality that they have, right? So it's extremely positive. They're enjoying their days. And when you're enjoying what you do, you get more stuff done, right? I genuinely mean that. If your job is a grind and you don't enjoy it, I promise you, you're not successful. There are zero massively successful people who aren't insanely positive. And if there are, what I'll say is watch them over time. Those stars burn bright and fast. We can fake it, right? I could eke out a living. I could probably make a killer CPA for a month, right? But I'm not going to be in that role too long. I'm not going to be positive, right? So, think about it at its like sort of most sort of ethereal, obscure level, right? Negative mindset is you can't do that. Why would I do that, right? Positive mindset is I can do that, or why not? Why can't I do that, right? You go in with that sort of optimistic view. And optimism, positivity, that's everything in business and success. You can't kill it if it's not exciting.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to wake up in the morning and feel happy. And we have that joke in Russia that I just can't wait for the night to be over, so I get up and go to work. Except it rhymes when I speak when I say it in Russian.
Well, now I want to hear it in Russian really quick, and everybody here has to just entertain me. Lucy, do it.
Вот ночь прошла, а завтра на работу. Here we go.
All right. I can't try to repeat that. But, the reason I bring that up though is I can't express enough. There is an element, right? Like again, what we were all taught in sales: smile when you're on the phone. There's a psychological element to positivity that generally makes us more effective, right? It's that you can't be in a bad mood and in the zone. That literally doesn't work. There's different pieces of your brain that light up that you're more effective. So positivity, I would say, is like number one. And it's, you have to recognize, I saw somebody put gratefulness in the comments. You have to recognize that sometimes positivity is work, right? You can't just always be positive, but you can teach yourself to look at things under a certain lens or under a certain light and flip your way of thinking, right? I'll be honest with you. There's sometimes we're here at VHT, there's things that we need to do or work on where it starts as a problem, right? It's a problem. It's a challenge, right? We're responding to COVID in the market. I have to work really hard to say, okay, cool. You know what? Let's turn this in from something that I have to stress about to a problem that I'm excited to solve, right? Because the goal, right, the return on that is exciting. So even if I can't be super excited about the fact that I need to interpret 52 different executive orders in the month of March and April, right, to figure out who can work and who can't, I can also say, I'm lucky enough to be in 52 different cities and states where I have to worry about that and I have to think about that. So you know what? I'm going to stay up all night and read this horribly boring legal text from governors, right, to make sure people can do it. So you flip it, right? How lucky are we to have this problem? Remain positive.
Love your attitude, right, Kate?
Yeah, and I feel like positivity kind of plays into professionalism. Like, don't you think it's kind of one and the same?
So it is definitely one and the same, but I would say that professionalism has lost its meaning and lost its relevance to a certain extent. And you'll see professionalism isn't one of my 3 Ps. And that's not just because I prefer to wear t-shirts to work, right? Professionalism isn't one of my 3 Ps because I don't think the term means so much anymore, right? To a certain extent, it's a given. So we're actually going to do something really quick. This is an exercise that I just did with our photographers. So I'm going to ask everybody who's watching right now to grab their phone, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to do a little exercise. All right, so we're going to sort of look at ourselves under the lens of professionalism. And I'm going to ask everybody here to throw at least one answer in. Answer the question, my clients think of me as blank, or I want my clients to think of me as blank. So take out your phone, turn on your camera, point it at the QR code that's up on your screen, and start giving me those descriptors, right? What is it? Why is it that your clients are working with you? My clients think of me as blank. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And we're going to see what the answers are. And remember, folks, there's no wrong answer. The only wrong answer is a non-answer. So give me the descriptors. Do your clients think of you as professional, honest, expert? What is it? So keep it going. And we're going to see a couple of fun patterns here. Okay, so again, no wrong answer. And it looks like my screen share stopped for a moment. So hopefully you can see that. I like Kit. Kit says, my clients think of me as their realtor for life.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to leave this open for about 30 more seconds before we talk about why this word cloud means
Trusted
something.
advisor. Thank you, guys. Positive and professional. That's compassionate, devoted. What a team we have today. Knowledgeable, positive, an expert, caring, honest.
All right, yeah. Cool. So here's what I'm going to say. First off, I'm going to make a comment. I'm actually fairly impressed because usually when I do this, the word cloud's a little bit smaller. In other words, everybody uses the same terms, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to look at this for a second, and I am going to tell you why everything on my screen, almost everything on my screen, I have 2 carve-outs, is complete garbage. If you're good at what you do and you're a professional in your field, you don't have to say trustworthy. That's assumed. Knowledgeable, friendly, professional, honest, right? Honest is usually the biggest one in the word cloud, right? And I would say that, those are givens, meaning you shouldn't be in business if those don't apply to you. I know I don't want to deal with you if you're not honest, trustworthy, knowledgeable, professional, authentic, right? Dear clients. So I would say that really kind of understanding your business's personality, your professional personality, your personal brand is really important, because these generic terms, they don't help you compete. The agent down the block from you is also thinking of themselves as skilled, as knowledgeable, as trustworthy. So personality goes a level deeper, right? And I'm going to go ahead and kill the screen share. And I'm going to thank everybody for throwing in their words here. You did exactly what I was hoping. But personality goes a little bit deeper, guys. What is your personality? What do you bring to the table? What's different about you, right? And what is it that you enjoy? Because when your time is spent aligning with your personality, aligning with your personal brand, where am I going to go with this? I'm going to bring it back to that positivity. You're enjoying what you're doing, and you're more effective. Additionally, when you look at the personality, sort of creating that connection, positivity, you end up creating far deeper bonds with people. Look, if I'm an agent in any given area, and I see myself as dependable, I see myself as honest, I see myself as knowledgeable and trustworthy, and if that's where you're really centering all of your value, well, it's universal. We all assume the same thing. So how am I going to compete? I'm going to try to compete with you by taking my commission down by 0.5 point. Don't we love it when people do that? Sure. Well, if now I'm looking at agents and I'm saying, well, there's Kate. Kate seems like she's pretty knowledgeable. She's professional. And then there's Lucy. Lucy seems like she's pretty knowledgeable and professional. I've got nothing to compare. There's no reason for me to not go with Kate when she offers me a half a point less on, her commission or whatever. However, if I'm comparing Kate as an agent, right, who's just marketing herself as trustworthy, knowledgeable, blah, 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 and not using her personality, with Lucy, whose personality comes with a whole lot of charisma, that half a point means a little bit less. I'm going to say, but I like Lucy better because Lucy's super positive, because the way she deals with me when we interact, it's in line with her persona. She's having fun. So recognize that there's actually a lot of real hard value in making sure that you're enjoying your time, right? Making sure that, again, what you do is in line with your personality. One of the things I say to people all the time is use who you are as a person to succeed at what you do. This isn't fake it till you make it. There's a dozen books that'll talk to you about that. They're all garbage. Buy them, burn them, keep them for the winter to keep warm. Use who you are to succeed at what you do.
That is so true. And I think we should stay true to ourselves and just be yourself when you do the presentation, when you are communicating with your clients. And this way you don't have to fake anything, and it will always be natural and positive and wonderful because you won't slip. So because you are what you are. So yeah. I think that is a great observation, and I loved your exercise. So I was very generic when I put something about myself. Now I understand exactly what you are talking about. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Lucy, you have here's the thing, right? Part of the reason we're here together today is you have a really memorable personality. Again, look, as my competitor, I had a love-hate relationship with you, right? I enjoyed our minutes together, right? I always enjoyed seeing you, but I hated the fact that you were carving out a nice piece in the markets that I was in, right? But here's the thing. I knew you from 100 feet away in any of the events that we crossed paths in. I remembered your ridiculous and awesome I Love Lucy costume that you were wearing at whatever event that was, right? Because you were in your element, because you were doing what it is you loved to do, you were memorable. In fact, I would say that if you think about what you've done in your career, right? Look, you've run a business, you've done sales, right? Hell, I know you've even created floor plans, right? But when you were at your happiest, what were you doing? You were sharing, you were out with people, you were interacting, right? You were a cheerleader for your own stuff. Now look at what you're doing in this role. In this role, you literally get paid to be excited. You get paid to be Lucy. That's why you're going to be successful in this role. Not because we had some master plan.
Yeah, thank you, Vince. I really do enjoy what I'm doing, and I love what I do. So, and as a matter of fact, I how I have my videos on different product services and directions. One of the videos that I have on my vht.com/learn channel is how can you be remembered? And I put together a video pretending that I'm an agent. It's a short one. It's like 3 or 4 minutes. And actually it's about to be remembered and how to be positive and how to be spontaneous and be yourself. So if any of you are interested, please take a look, go to my channel. So, but yes, I think it is extremely important to be, again, coming back true to yourself and enjoy what you do. And I would like to ask you about habits. So what about habits? You talk about habits a lot with your team and usually with goal settings. And can you explain to us how you work around it and what do you mean exactly?
Sure. So I think about this. I think about habits. Habits in my mind are there to support goals, right? So I think about there's two kind of groupings of goals, right? There's sort of the large vision type of goals, right? That's the moon landing. That's the, I want to become this one day, right? Your vision, right? And then there's the SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based goals, right? Things that you can hold yourself accountable to. Then I look at kind of what the habits are that we can build to support those goals, right? So I'll give you a couple of examples, right? I wanted to, right? I wanted to very specifically build a culture of gratitude, within VHT and the people around me, right? And at that same time, I had stumbled into the Best Self Journal, which forced me to practice every morning, find 3 things that I'm grateful for, right? That became a habit. I literally do that every day. Every morning I wake up, I'm writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for or excited about. That habit provides my positive mindset, right? Like quite literally, I'm in a good mood because I've just named 3 things that I have to be happy about. And oh, by the way, I've given myself the additional challenge of never repeating them in the same month, which that does get tough, right? Because you're talking about 90 things, but that's the habit. Then another habit, I would say, okay, so VHT Studios, image is everything, right? I look at no less than 10,000 of our photographs every week. And I would tell you this, if I was, applying for my job at VHT Studios and Brian had said to me, hey, Vince, one of your responsibilities is I need you to look at 10,000 of our photographs a week. I don't know how, could I even accept the job? That sounds daunting, right? But how did I get there? I built the habit, right? Quite literally, we built a console that allows me to do this effectively and quickly, right? And that habit is very much connected to my personality, right? I'm a photographer. I'm excited when I see great images, and I'm a complete terror when I'm looking at something that's not great. Sorry, John and Scott, I didn't mean to email you Sunday. Building that habit was really just a matter of me setting up a cadence for myself, right? It's every day. Every day I'm looking at something, and I have my weekly goal of 10,000 photographs. Now, how does that habit support my goals? Well, it does a couple of things. One, it drives our image quality up because I'm all over it.
Mhm.
2, it helps our photographers stay motivated because you know what happens when I find an image I'm excited about? That photographer knows it. The photographers in their market know it. Poor Kate wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning to a Teams message, right? Again, it's a force of habit. And that habit, right, because of what we do, because we're a media provider, that habit supports so much of our business, right? So it's identifying the right habits. In sales, you might want to say that my habits, I need to be really present, right? I need to be thinking about social media. Well, if you're thinking about social media as a chore, what are you posting on a daily basis, right? So now connect that habit, give yourself the goal to build a daily cadence or whatever it is, right? But then connect it to your personality, right? Find the content that you're interested in, the content that genuinely gets you excited. Pretty soon, it'll be second nature. And just like me, when I was on vacation and I promised myself and my wife that I wouldn't look at images, I was jonesing. I definitely, she's watching, but I'm going to admit to it. I definitely snuck open my laptop and did an image review because I built this habit. It's part of what I do. It's no different than, me feeling like if I don't get on my bike or play my guitar or something, I'm going to miss out, right? So anything that you can do, any of your compulsions, which can support your business, are things that you want to dive headfirst into, right? So think about other things. Now, Lucy, I would say turn the clock back 5 years, right? Lucy's in sales for her own company. Lucy, I couldn't possibly tell you to not talk to people, right? I couldn't possibly say, don't pop into offices. That's a compulsion of yours, right? And that is something that because you weren't getting in your own way and it's a sales function in reality,
Mhm.
it's something that drove your success. There was not a party that you weren't at unless you
Oh,
were
I
at
love
another
parties.
party at the same time somehow.
Yeah, don't even talk about parties. I'm there.
I know, I miss them too.
But I can tell you that you are so right. And I was not crazy about social media, but I made myself every morning, wake up in the morning. Poor Peter has to work with me on that because he does videos for me. So I have a 15-second Instagram story every single morning, and now it's a habit. So on weekends, when I promise not to do it because Peter has to be involved and he asked me to give him a weekend off. So, but now I feel like I'm missing something. Where is my Instagram story? Every morning I have one. And you know what? And it's great to think about the topic you want to talk about and something exciting. And then I create my videos. I even learned how to do my slideshows. They're not as beautiful as they're supposed to be, but now it's a habit. Every day I have a post on all my social media, and I have my 15-second Instagram story. You're right, habit is very important. And actually, it's a very positive thing. And it creates, for me, it creates the discipline. If you are up in the morning and you have something that you are doing every single morning, it's discipline for you. And then the day goes nicely and smoothly after that.
Absolutely. So I just saw a comment come in from Terry, who had asked, what do you think of posting one photo as a teaser on a new listing in Facebook? So what I would say, Terry, context is king, right? We used to say content is king, context is king. So yes, you should absolutely, as an agent, get in the habit of a daily post to Facebook, right? But think about the circle you've built around you, because that circle, that personal circle, is what's going to fuel your business, right? Yes, the people around you do want to know that you're a real estate agent. They do want to see your listings because people like seeing their friends' success. But my challenge to you and anybody else who's saying, I want to make sure I'm posting a listing every day, is tell me why you're posting that listing, right? Give me something to go on. If it's just new listings signed, blah, 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 I got to tell you, nobody gives up, right? 0 people do. However, if it's a home that you're excited about, that has a great story, there's a personal connection, something that your audience can relate to, I would say that's worth, yeah, that's absolutely worth your time. So if you're building the habit of social media posting, think about context. It's either got to be, you've got to have a lot of personal relevance or relevance to your network. Stay away from the generic posts. Again, if my Facebook lit up and I posted every time one of my photographers created a great image, you'd probably see wonderful content, but you'd get real tired real fast because most of those images aren't something that you really care about. However, when I get to talk about Erin or Mark or any of my photographers who do phenomenal work, and I get to do something to highlight them because something has transpired, they've done something amazing, right? Erin's shooting an abandoned insane asylum that a developer's redeveloping, right? They're refurbishing whatever they're doing with it. Like that would probably be something that I would repost. That's going to be really relevant to my urban explorer friends and stuff like that. And you guys here, the audience, get to see something outside of the humdrum, boring, we're going to do it 100,000 times this year business that we can interact on. So it's kind of the confluence, right? Because it's personality, it's building the habit of doing it often, and it's giving it context. Again, I'm using who I am, the things that genuinely interest me, to succeed at what it is I do. So we use who we are to succeed at what we do.
Well, that is so true. And yes, I'm so happy that you are sharing it with all of us. Thank you, Vince. Vince, what is the piece of advice you would like to give to our audience and to our clients, our agents?
Sure. So, okay. So if you're only going to take one thing from this, right, it would be true to yourself. Lucy, you said it first, and, being true to yourself means personality, check, right? Positivity, because you're enjoying your time, because you're being true to yourself. And then the productivity comes after, because if you enjoy what you do, you're going to be doing it more effectively. You're going to be doing it more often. So I would say top piece of advice, be true to yourself, right? And, I'm going to beat this dead horse. Anyone can compete on price, you guys, but 0 people are you, right? That is the only unique thing about you is everything about you. So now answer the question to yourself, how can I be true to myself? How can I utilize who I am to be successful in what it is that I do?
Yeah. Thank you so much. We have a question from Deborah. It's a little bit of the topic question, but because you are talking about photographers, Vincent, because you are saying that you love photography and you have been involved in it for a while and you plan to stay there. So be true to yourself. Where is okay, here is the question. At one time, photographers were taking pictures of the street surroundings. Is that legal, and can that be done? What's your opinion on that?
Sure. So I'm gonna not give legal advice, but I'm gonna probably give a little legal advice. So hopefully I don't get in trouble for this one. So here's the deal. Anybody can take a picture of almost anything in public. However, people have a right to privacy, and branding could or could not get you in trouble. So taking photographs, Deborah, I'm assuming you're talking about in the context of what we do, taking photographs of anything that's outside of the property, unless it's an aerial, which is showing an area or something pretty vast. It's something we shy away from because it creates a lot of problems. There's a lot of license plate numbers to blur out. And what you have to think about are sort of trademarks and stuff like that. So there's a whole slew of considerations. I'll give you the example, right? I take a picture of the front of my condo, but I want to get the whole street, right? So I'm going back to the corner, I'm doing that. Well, on that street, there's a Starbucks, there's a McDonald's, right? I actually have a liability in utilizing that image because it's got trademarks in it. So a lot of the time, I would say you want to shy away from it. And if you do use it, just look for the things that are going to get you in trouble. And then I see that we got something in the Q&A. Nora asks, sounds like you're recommending posting about someone else instead of your own business to highlight them, correct? So, Nora, it's interesting when I was saying that, right? I wasn't thinking about it in that context. But yes, when we post about somebody else or we shine a spotlight on someone, we build our credibility massively. I'm not saying don't post about yourself because I know I do, right? I'm excited about what I do, but you definitely leverage the content of the people around you, because when you support them, they're going to support you back, and your immediate network, your sphere of influence sees the kind of person you are.
We also have a question. So many people would like to see the community and it's done with the drone. Why wouldn't it be okay, the street of the photo? I just would like to mention how I see the photo with the drone. I believe in introducing the lifestyle as well. And very often when you have the drone photo and you have the park down the street, or you have the golf course, or you have the water, or you just have a beautiful tree-lined street, you are not really selling your house. You are selling the lifestyle. And for those of you who know me, even before the drone, when Peter and I had that 50-feet tripod, I have a photo in Huntington, which is from like 35 or 40 feet. And you can see the backyard, but at the same time, you see that everyone around has a swimming pool. It's small. It was a $400,000 house in a $400,000 neighborhood, but it had, it had flower beds and manicured gardens, and it was just really great lifestyle photo that I just absolutely loved, because I was able to introduce to my colleagues and my clients. It's important. The lifestyle is important. Not everyone buys the house just to have 3-bedroom and 2 bath. They buy the lifestyle. And that's why I think the drone is so important.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I think this is a good time to wrap up.
No, let's stay a little longer.
The producer is saying, wow, we only went into 7 minutes of overtime. This is amazing. Good job.
I know we kept everybody in line here today. Lucy, Vince, thank you so much for sharing your advice, your insights, and your positivity is, contagious. And I'm just happy that you could be here today and share with everybody.
Thank you.
I also want to just take 1 minute to announce our 5 winners of our DoorDash gift cards. All right. Let's see here. We have D. Toberman. Oh, this is a hard one. Cation. Oh no. Anna Tassio, Alice Richards, and Ben Lippert. And then one more, Linda O'Connor with Exit Realtor.
Yeah. Hi, Linda.
So look for an email later today from DoorDash and you'll get your gift card. All right. One last thing, visit vht.com/learn, register for our next Lunch with Lucy. It's on Wednesday, February 24th with Alex with Real Grader. We're going to be discussing some new things happening with Google and real estate, importance of building your online reputation. So you won't want to miss it. And that's all we have for you today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Guys, thanks so much for having me.
Us. Vince, thanks a lot. It was fun, just like I promised everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.